Hello, you're welcome to The Magnate. The Magnate is a program that will tap from the wealth of knowledge of a business mogul, whereby they lend a voice to business growth, all in good intent for them to nurture the young entrepreneurs on how they can succeed in their chosen fields of endeavor. Today we have somebody who has traversed the banking sector mostly. Who are we talking about? Let's give you this background reports to capture our business magnate for the week. We'll be back shortly.
Mr. Bade Adeshina is a man of immense wealth of experience in both private and public sectors of the Nigerian economy. He holds a BSc and MSc degrees in finance from the University of Lagos and obtained a diploma in information science and systems from the University of Ibadan. He has served in various sectors and committees. He has worked on the banking sector, pension, stockbrokers, and other professional bodies. He has over 30 years experience in financial management services in both commercial and investment banks in Nigeria. He is currently the chairman board of Health Assure Limited, which is a health management organization, HMO company, and also chairman Crown Health Capital Limited, a financial advisory firm, and serves on the board of several blue chip companies. Come with us to the studio with an exclusive chat with our magnate of the week.
You're welcome back. This is The Magnate. Our business magnate for this week is Mr. Bade Adeshina, who has spent most of his life in the banking sector, serving in one commercial, merchant, another investment bank, one time or the other. It's our pleasure to welcome Mr. Bade Adeshina to The Magnate. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, madam.
Yes, sir. So let's start this way. A lot of people, they are making a lot of efforts to start business. What do you think is the first step to take in starting a business?
The first thing to take in starting a business is you have to look at your own background, what interests you, and where you have key strengths. You should know your strengths and weaknesses, and because there's a lot of issues involved in business, and you must have the necessary background to do that. If you know your strengths and weaknesses and the area you have core competence, you have to do a feasibility study.
Okay.
And that feasibility study must be done by a professional and will be straightforward in terms of content and value.
Okay.
What do I mean by content and value? In terms of looking at all parameters in the sector of a business, and you are not in the business to lose all your money, but you're in a business at least to be very profitable and be social oriented to people also.
Okay, let's take a look from the background that we have a package for you, the short documentary. You personally have served in different sectors, starting from Unilag, where you schooled, to different banks. Do you think that it is necessary for people who want to start businesses or a business to do some form of apprenticeship before they decide to be their own boss?
Definitely. In any business, you need a mentor.
Okay.
I would say very, very clear. Even in the banking industry, in any of the financial industry, you need a mentor. That's somebody you need to look up to in terms of value, in terms of etiquette, in terms of professional, in terms of integrity. So if you have a very good mentor and it makes your work have one, that is very key.
Okay. Now let's also zero into your career growth. You started, particularly your sojourn in the banking industry. What do you think if somebody wants to take up the banking now? What do you think the person should do first?
First of all, it must be well equipped.
Okay.
Banking is very dynamic. He or she must have the technical skill, the right training, right attitude, not looking at, what is the need for me. The integrity must be there, the honesty must be there, and the professionalism must be there. Those are the key ingredients you have to look at.
But most people those days, I don't know about now, they wish to go into the banking profession because they are supposedly the salary was very fat, so to say. Do you think that's an attraction?
I do not think so, and I think that's a wrong perception. There are some oil companies that pay far better than banks. Their compensation is far better, and there are some industry also, even in telecommunications.
Okay, I'm not even so sure that banking is still quite attractive, particularly with what has been happening lately. You find that a lot of employees lose their jobs, and then they're out of job. What do you have to say to that?
My first statement is that people have to be well equipped. You take, for instance, and I can give you for say, you can't say you join the banking industry with a first degree. Are you doing continuous improvement of yourself? Continuous education? Did you register with the Institute of Bankers? Are you following the professional examination? Do you think of having a second degree? All this will equip you technically for that job. But if all these are not there, certainly you don't have anything to offer.
We're still chatting with a business mogul, a boardroom guru, in the person of Mr. Bade Adeshina, who is a reputed banker in our time. Let's go for a short break. We're back while he will lend more voice to the growth of our business. Yeah, welcome back. The Magnate is the program, and we are chatting with Mr. Bade Adeshina, who spent virtually better part of his life in the banking industry. And we are zeroing in on the banking profession on this edition of the program. Sir, you talked about being equipped for the profession. How much of education do you advise somebody who wants to succeed in the banking profession to acquire?
Basically, minimum a first degree with at least a professional qualification. And in addition, such person must continuously follow the Institute of Chartered Bankers professional program career. And even along the job, continuous training and retraining is key to success.
The banking profession is not a profession that, I just spent 10 years, 15 years, you go and set up a bank. We know what happened in the past. What is that? For instance, like you spent about 20 or more years in the banking industry.
Almost 3 decades.
Oh, 30 years. Thank you for the correction. So what are the other side hustle? You understand what I mean? A lot of people call it side hustle. While you're in the, do you think you really have the time so that when the unexpected happens, they know what to fall back on?
When you are in the banking industry, you are exposed to various businesses. You are exposed to various industries on your job. By so doing, you learn a lot. And you can use that, you will definitely use that when you are setting up your business. It's not too good for you not to have a full concentration in banking career. You will run into problem. People just come and give you something, you sign and you run into problem. But pay particular attention to your job, pay particular attention to what passes through your table. By so doing, you will have a vast knowledge on various industries. And if maybe manufacturing, maybe financial services, maybe money consulting, so this will help you in fact when you live. And these are some of the things that are critical in terms of self-development.
There is this saying that most bankers are not as professional, particularly if you studied banking and finance in the university. They are not as professional as the accountant that at the end of the day they may end up being auditors and doing similar things.
That's a wrong misconception. And I would say that virtually you see a lot of bankers now, they are also accountants, they are economics there. And it depends on how you train yourself. The key thing is for you to be competent and professional in what you are doing. Yeah. If you are not competent, I mentioned the issue of continuous education. That is much available in the Institute of Banking. You can. And you see most people now, they are having multiple professional qualifications, like myself. So you could be able to move into all the financial sectors of the industry, ranging from commercial, merchant, pension, stockbroking, and all that, which is key. And you need to be multi-versatile, and it will help your career grow. And I'll give you an instance. If somebody is an IT person, is in the bank, not necessarily for him or her to do a banking something. He should be registered with the institute, but he or she should ensure that he passes through all the certification in computer, because he needs to be very good in that area of what he's doing, even self in the bank.
Earlier on, we talked about apprenticeship. How long do you think, for instance, a young lady who decides to settle down for family reasons, decides to quit the banking job because of the time consumption and all that he wants to, how long do you think she should at least work for in terms of serving as an apprentice in the banking industry before she now decide on any other profession?
Minimum 5 years. Because the first 2 years you are still passing through it. You need mentor, you need to walk through some people, and you need to gain confidence and have spread and contact yourself. If you don't have all that, you are just green. I will suggest 5 years.
And what's your counsel for those who just have 1 2 years and they feel that they have arrived, they want to go and set up businesses without even knowing the rudiments it requires?
It's a failure. During my actual thesis at the postgraduate level has to do with small business, a comparative analysis of developing nation like Nigeria. And most findings state clearly that you must need some grooming, some technical expertise. I will use the word technical expertise. In fact, human management. How do you relate with your subordinate? And you must have at least a fair knowledge of, if you run into a problem, you have somebody you can call to. So these are a lot of things that are going, and 2 years to me is not enough to achieve that. You cannot circuit an industry, you will run into a problem. Funding is extremely very key in setting up a business. You cannot use a short-term fund to finance a long-term borrowing. It's not. So ability to understand the funding structure is key in succeeding in business. Okay. And the managerial ability is also important, getting the right people, and you yourself must have the zeal and the will of character to follow.
What do you say of people that they just want to set up business? They don't have the knowledge of the business itself. After all, if I can employ people to man the business, what I'm interested in is bottom line.
It's a failure ab initio, and you need to have a fair knowledge of the type of business you want to set up, and you need to have a fair hand-on on the business. So if you don't have enough, take for instance, as a financial person, I cannot say I want to set up an hospital. It's going to be a complete disaster. You put the right thing in the right place. That would be my advice.
What role does sentiments play in business? Lack of discipline, everybody just doing whatever they, even though it's a small business. Do you think that business will grow?
There's no sentiments in business. There should be some deliverables. If the deliverables are not met, you won't achieve the success. And you are going to the bank to borrow money, or even if it's your own seed capital, you will not want to waste the seed capital. So definitely, there should be particular attention on the job. But within the context of a developing nation like Nigeria, we are still faced with a lot of problems like power, like water, like roads, and all that. And these are governmental. And the way the present government is going on infrastructure, right development, I think we're on the right path to start with.
The small-scale industries, medium, small-scale, they are the ones that are really the real drivers of the economy. What do you have to say about this?
If you look at China, if you look at India, the small-scale businesses are the major drivers of their economy. And this present government, I think that's why they are putting more emphasis on infrastructural development, roads, power, energy. And over a short period, in the first 4 years, they've done a lot. And hopefully, moving ahead, I think they should. And it should actually enhance the small scale. The quality of power have improved. The quality of roads have been moving up. And certainly is on the right, they are on the right path to actually leading small businesses to a larger platform moving ahead.
This is the right time to zero into a young business. What are they up to? They're an entrepreneur. What challenges are they faced with? What value is their business adding the family and the entire society? Let's give you this clip.
Welcome to another segment of The Magnate, where we bring to you young entrepreneurs who are changing the narrative of business in the country. These are young people who are striving hard to become business magnates. And on today's episode, we have someone who is a caterer. Can I call her a caterer? As you can see, she's someone who is making food and snacks, and then she's turning that into a business that sustains that. Let's go find out who she is.
My name is Oluwato Injaisumi.
I can see you're a caterer.
Yes.
So what aspect of catering do you focus?
My area of specialization is I'm into catering and baking. So how I started like the first time I heard Cosville was doing skill acquisition for people. I enrolled as a trainee, as a student. Then I came. And when I saw what people were doing, it was baking. Normally I registered for baking. Then I started as baking for people. Then thereafter, I went to Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity. And I think I spent a year there in order for me to pursue my career. That was 2015. Then thereafter, when I graduated, I was given a certificate. And since then, I've been baking. I do all sorts of things. I can do continental dishes, local dishes. Then I supply sausage roll, donut, cake, wedding cake, birthday cake, naming ceremony, and all that.
So you're a trainee now. You are now a trainer. That's
yes.
What contributed to this success?
Actually, what contributed to it is that I never stopped where I learned alone, because on my own, if there's anything I do and I'm not getting it right, I go online, then I ask questions a lot. I'm a very inquisitive person. I like to ask questions. I like to know more. I like to explore. I like to see. I like to do beyond what others are doing.
Hello and welcome to Magnate. And you know, as usual on Magnate, we bring young entrepreneurs, people who are changing the narrative of business in the country, people who are thriving at and making a living out of their hands. And on today's episode of Young Entrepreneurs on the Magnate, we have someone who is making lunch boxes. You are thinking a lunch box. A lot of people try to buy their lunch box. This person makes the lunch box from the scratch. So who is she? Let's find out. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Juliet Agbonikena.
So what do you make?
I'm into sewing of lunch boxes. I also make souvenir party bags. I make school bags. I make traveling bags, and I also repair bags as well.
So basically, you make bags.
Yes, I'm into bags generally.
When I had lunch box, I was thinking lunch box that you carry to school, right?
Yes.
Do you even make that box? I thought it's like company made. Most of the ones that I see.
Company made is fanciful but not durable. But the handmade one is stronger because we use quality materials in achieving them. So it's more stronger than company ones. And now we are trying to stand out, competing with the company one, also to achieve what they are also doing.
So what is the difference between lunch bag making and then the normal bag? I know they use gum, they use leather.
The lunch bag or lunch box making, we use this machine sewing. That way it's stronger because of the weight of you put your food, you put your water. it won't disgrace the person on the way. But when you use gumming, the gum, even without even entering rain, it will expire one day and it will fall off. So the durable aspect of it is using machine to sew it. That way it will take a long time before it can spoil.
So when did you start this launch bag making business?
I've been doing it now like 3 years ago.
Wow. So what inspired you to go into launch bags making?
Actually, I was into hawking before. Yes, I hawked Zobo for years. Until my church, they brought a woman to come and teach lunch buses. And I said that I don't want to go inside this sun again and start hawking. I want to make a name for myself. So I applied for the program, and there I took off and started using it as a business. And so far, I've sold so many lunch buses out to people. The one I've made personally for myself.
So how many bags do you think you sold?
If I to calculate the one I've made so far, it's over 80.
Wow.
Yes, since that I've started.
So how lucrative do you think this business is? There money in it?
There is much money inside. There is much money. Apart from the money, no money, the knowledge is still there. You can also still teach people and still make more money inside. There is money. Once you are into lunch, but you will never go hungry. Except the person is a lazy person. But yes, if you are not lazy, you will definitely eat. You will definitely eat.
And what challenges do you think you face in this business?
The challenges I face because I'm using manual. Manual is slower compared to industrial machine. Like this one takes me, because it's manual, it takes me like 6-7 hours in achieving manual. But if I'm using industrial machine, 3 hours, we are done with it. But we still achieve the same result. But that is low because everything has to do with using your strength in achieving it. But industrial machine is faster. That's the challenges I'm facing in the lunch bus.
How do you think the government can help with these challenges?
If the government can help people into it to get industrial machines at a subsidized rate or maybe as a grant or kind of assistance, that way it will make the lunch bus to be more.
What advice would you give someone who is going into this business?
What I'm advising, just like what I'm advising them, mindset. Just have the interest in it. Once you have interest in it, it's very easy.
You are welcome back. There's no business that does not have its own challenges, and we still have our magnate in the house who will now be counseling us on how to overcome the challenges that may arise from, a business, putting into consideration how he has also been able to manage or overcome some challenges with a multitude of businesses he's had to run over the years. Mr. Bade Adeshina, sir.
Thank you so much. In fact, I've been part of team in setting up at least 3 banks in Nigeria. I was part of the team who set up Magnate International Bank. I was the head of corporate bank. I was the chief credit officer of the bank. I was part of the team who set up AfriBank International Limited, merchant bankers. And I could tell you, I was the pioneer MD CEO of CDL Asset Management. I was the pioneer special advisor, Minister of Budget and Economy Planning in government. So you need people that have strong will of, I can do. Have energy. You must be a human person. That look, you are not expected to know all. You can relate where you don't know. You want to touch, and you must have value and integrity. And you must continuously start sharpening your skills. More importantly, you need to surround yourself with people that are also bright, not mediocre. That yes people.
What kind of business do you have? I'm sure you have learned 1 or 2 things from our business mogul today. I hope subsequently, when we have something to talk about as it concerns you in the profession, you would open your door to us again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Who is our magnate for next week or for subsequent week? Stay tuned as we continue to, enrich your knowledge, your businesses, tapping from the wealth of knowledge of the gurus, the boardroom gurus. Join us same time next week for another edition. Until then, keep watching.